Hello everyone, Rich from PCGamesN here, and I'm joined by Matt.
Hi there.
And Matt being on camera doesn't necessarily mean that it's Overwatch, but it is Overwatch. This is episode 66 of Overwatch This, and what else we'll be talking about but Retribution. Alright, so Matt, Retribution event went live yesterday. I couldn't get in behind a queue of 10,000 people, fairly standard. But I watched you guys play it on stream.
Thank you, yeah.
Looks
nice
like
to have you tuning in.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It looks like good fun, so I'm looking forward to getting involved. But let's run through it. Let's start with the legendary skins.
Yeah, because this is what everybody typically wants.
Yeah, always the highlight of an event.
Yeah, I must say I'm slightly actually underwhelmed, and I don't think that the skins are the big thing of this event. We'll get onto what I do think is the big thing later. But yeah, if you are skin hunting, you've got 8 new legendaries, of which they are obviously drawn from this kind of time period that Retribution set in. So it's 8 years before kind of like all of what we know of Overwatch is going on.
But the Uprising skins are available again.
They are, yes, yeah. So if you missed any last year, so I know for example you really like Tracer Cadet.
Yeah.
I actually got one of the skins I wanted last year, which was the Genji one, but I really want the McCree Blackwatch skin,
yeah,
so cool. I can get in on that again. So we can get those, but we have these 8 new legendaries as well. So I think kind of like the highlights out of this is probably the Soldier 24, which is Reaper's new skin. This is kind of like if you never bought the Origins edition and you didn't get Blackwatch Reaper, this is kind of like your next best thing. It is Gabriel Reyes rather than Reaper, so he's got a face rather than a mask.
Does he use his human voice lines rather than his weird modulator?
Ooh, this is a good point. I don't know, because obviously all the voice lines in Retribution are his human voice. But if I ever get the skin, I will let you know. But yeah, he's got kind of like his Blackwatch, kind of chunkier shotguns and stuff like that. So it's Gabriel rather than Reaper. Lucio's Equalizer skin, really, really cool as well. This is actually based on the original concept art for Lucio.
Oh, right, okay.
So if you've got the Overwatch art book that they did last year, you'll have probably seen this guy. I really like his trousers have got equalizers on them, so when you're playing music, literally his trousers are animated.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very cool. Things that I know that you're less fond of. Well, Pajama.
Yeah, apparently. So according May in pajamas, right? I mean, to me, big deal. But according to you, everyone is excited for these because people really liked. And to be fair, it was an adorable short.
Rise and Shine is an adorable short, which is where these pajamas come from. It's the Summer Games pajamas that she was wearing in that short, with like the oven gloves that I think that she's using in replacement for engineering gloves.
Yeah, very, very cute. And if you like that short, then I guess this is the skin for you. But like, I think May's been underserved by her skins. I can't think of any that are really great.
Yeah,
and this one still doesn't stand out aesthetically to me.
Yeah, see, for me, the quintessential May skin is the Yeti Hunter, and I have been using that since I got that skin pretty much within the first 6 months of Overwatch being a game. And I've never changed and never will.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, and there are obviously plenty of others, you know, there are Talon, Doomfist and Sombra.
I like the Talon ones. I think Talon, Doomfist and Talon Sombra. I saw a bunch of people like reacting to Talon Sombra like her new short hair is a wig or something, that it looks like a wig.
I think like it's set like ages ago, she could have just grown her hair.
Yeah,
like
I actually think it looks really cool. I think it looks like it's a great haircut. Not that I'm not a fan of the side cut either, or the undercut. But yeah, I think those are great skins. Sion Hanzo as well is really cool.
Yeah, he's got that kind of Yakuza kind of look, which is really, really badass.
The suit.
So I think they're good skins. They're not setting the world on fire for me.
Yeah.
But it's fine because the Retribution event is.
Yeah, the Retribution event looks like it's great fun. They've really sort of, from what I see, especially compared to Uprising last year, and certainly Junkenstein's Revenge, it's their most involved PvE event yet, right?
Yeah, so it's taken them almost a year to build this. It was pretty much kind of like in the month after Uprising finished last year, they were like, right, what did we do right? What did we do wrong?
Yeah.
And basically the sort of fallout from that was they realised that they maybe tried to put too many objectives into it originally, and I know that sounds bonkers, and you think we want more objectives, we want more in depth, but they were like, it was very stop and start. You kind of went here and you hacked this, and then you went here and hacked this, and then you moved this payload. They're like, no, we just kind of want you on the run.
Yeah, and it's getting away, escaping.
And that's exactly what Retribution's all about. You know, it's this mission gone wrong. Like if you haven't played it yet, I won't spoil it for you, but it goes very, very wrong in the cutscene at the beginning. It has this wonderful kind of production value cutscene where you've got like the Blackwatch team sort of like go into Rialto, this new map set in Venice. It goes wrong, and then they're on the run to extract out of the city.
It kind of makes you like Reaper as well. Sort of, see where he's coming from and see he's a little bit of a badass in the opening cutscene, which is really cool.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that kind of like Reaper is typically been seen as a bit of a 2D character. He's a spectre, right? That just comes up and does boom bump in the night stuff with shotguns, right?
Very stereotypical sort of, if he had a moustache, he'd twirl it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And the whole idea of this event is that they want to offer a little bit more of the 3D element of him. He is, I mean, he's fallen from grace, right? Like he was one of Overwatch's best kind of Black Ops unit guys, and this is the start of his downfall. And you know, a lot of the voice lines that McCree offers is McCree sort of realizing like, wow, maybe things really are going off the deep end here.
Yeah, so you see a little bit of that lore, which is great to see, a little bit more personality to Blackwatch and these characters. And then the game mode itself is super fun. And like I say, a little bit more involved. They've clearly cribbed some elements from Left 4 Dead. So if Vermintide's just come out, this is a great time to be a fan of Horde games. New enemy types, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you obviously have, whereas, I mean, Uprising has several enemy types, but they were very much based, they spawned around corners and then they came at you, and it was a wave-based sort of like just hit the robot on the head, I guess. This is because they wanted a little bit more of a cinematic feel to it. They wanted moments, is what I was talking to the Overwatch team the other day. Like, we very much wanted lots of series of cinematic moments.
Okay.
So you have Talon units, which have the really cool Talon look that we've seen in those Sombra and Doomfist skins.
Sure.
White armor, red helmets. They look really, really cool. But you have Troopers and Enforcers, which are your usual regular grunts. But then you have these 3 special units. So you've got Assassins, Snipers, and Heavies. Assassins are basically kind of like hunters from Left 4 Dead. They can actually pin you down, and there's an animation that you'll get pinned down on the floor.
Yeah.
They're stabbing their blades into you. Someone has to come and help you up.
It reminds me a lot of Skaven Assassins.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very similar animation scene anyway. And I think it's just a case of that mechanic works so well in those games, why not use it here? You've then got a sniper that, very much like Widowmaker, obviously has the Talon sniper gear, so it has a grapple hook that can get, swing around the map. When they're using their sniper rifle, you've got an indicator of the laser beam coming off it, so you get to understand how it's like carving the area in two. It's like we can't pass that laser beam because the sniper's got us pinned down. And then there's Heavies, which sort of drop from drop pods in the sky that have 2 massive kind of auto cannons. They're difficult. They've clearly got a bit of Reinhardt in them because they can do a charge as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so obviously it's the way that they all have cinematic intros as well, kind of a bit like, how in Junkenstein it'll sort of stop the camera for a moment and zoom in on when kind of like Symmetra would come into the action, or when Junkenstein himself would.
Yeah.
It's got sort of like those really cool animations to it. Yeah, it feels, the production value is so much higher, and just the way that enemies come in, like they're smashing through doors or they're rappelling down from ceilings. It feels like a Black Ops operation.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I really want to play it. I can't wait. I think it'll definitely keep us entertained for that 2 or 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks the event's going to last. And there's a replayability incentive as well, isn't there? So not only you get sort of the first plot of the Retribution mission just by your first playthrough, but then successive playthroughs give you new lore through new VO lines.
Yeah, they wanted
Have you seen any of this yet?
So because I was streaming, I was talking over quite a lot of what was going on. So, but I do understand how it works in the idea that like the first time you play, you get the very basic plot. It's kind of like, this mission has gone wrong. But yeah, subsequent playthroughs will have like maybe the voice lines all tilt towards Moira, and it's kind of like all the people chatting about what Moira has brought to that operation, bits about her history. Then obviously you've also got Genji, McCree and Reaper with you, so all of them get kind of like different bits of VO. And yeah, each time you play it, it will be a different setup, and you might get just more in depth about the Retribution mission, or more in depth about the specific characters. I think it's a really good idea.
It's a great idea. Not only that, but also just the fact that the mission itself is so well designed. I did get pretty bored of Junkenstein's even after running that event. But this, hopefully, this one will stay fresh for a little bit longer. It runs from the 10th to the 30th. It's not. It's obviously not permanent. It's not going to unlock after that. And they did talk to us a little bit about why that probably won't ever be the case.
Yeah, they don't want you to get fatigued with it, basically. And the thing is kind of like Blizzard are also a PvE company, right? They have made, like, World of Warcraft is largely a PvE game. Diablo is to a degree a single player game.
And a lot of the people on the Overwatch team have come from Diablo and StarCraft campaign.
Yeah.
And wow.
So they have a huge understanding of how these work, and they're just like, well, we've built this PvP game, and like where certain resources go and stuff like that, they know that they haven't got anything that's a dedicated PvE mode, and they understand that, like, as much as you think you might want to play Retribution all year, you actually don't, because
is this another case of Blizzard saying you think you want it but you don't?
Yeah. The thing is Retribution,
without actually having said that.
They didn't physically say that, but I think that the implication of that is that it's a 10-minute mode, right? It is one mission that's 10 minutes, and right, so if you play it in all heroes mode, the actual encounters do get mixed around, a bit like how the Left 4 Dead AI director works. It will change. It's not always like, if you play it in story mode, the first like special you always come to is always the sniper, because it's the canon of that storyline.
Right.
If you play it in all heroes, it does mix it around. So they have made sure that there is some replayability, but Blizzard understand that replayability is not 2 years worth, right?
Sure.
Nobody wants to be playing. I mean, I was sick of Uprising after. I mean, I did play it about 60 times, but I was sick. I knew every beat of that. Hopefully, it won't be so much this time, but I do think kind of like the 20 days we've got it for is about right. And that's what Blizzard feel. They're like, until we can provide you with something that is more substantial, you know, a more honed PvE experience, there's no point in doing this. If you go over to our website, you can actually read kind of like all the quotes for this. We've got a news story about it. Yeah, like, essentially you don't want this. I mean, you think you do, but I think the case is that you don't. And like, you should focus on the PvP, which is where it's at.
It is fundamentally a
and
PvP
so
game.
like they like it that like this is refreshing. Like you get PvE for kind of like a short event, and it feels like a refresh.
Yeah.
Like
it's what's going to get me playing Overwatch for the first time in a little while.
Yeah, and the thing is I know, Rich, that you got a bit bored because you got into a routine like of playing competitive, and you were like you felt like you cracked the meta, and sort of like you felt like you'd seen it, right?
I felt like I cracked the meta despite struggling to get out of gold. Yeah.
Sure, but the thing is so sort of like when the Overwatch team were talking about this, they were like, we have people that get into like routines where they're like, I only play comp and I don't play anything else, and they're like, it's not healthy for players just to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So either you fall out of it like you did, or you keep playing it and then just end up ever complaining about it because you only do a very specific thing, and they're like, the events encourage you to do other things. So yeah, I think for anybody that is sort of like just stuck in a rut playing the same specific mode all over the time, having these very limited events are a great thing because they encourage, you know, diversity of play.
For sure. And of course, it's all set on a brand new map, a brand new location indeed. Is this the first time you've been to Italy?
Yes, I think it is.
I think it is. So the new map is Rialto. It has a PvE version for the Retribution event right now, which is live and you can play it, set at night time. We do also hear that it will have a PvP version in payload mode, right?
Yeah, that's how it's going to work.
And that's going to be during the daytime, and it's going to go live on the PTR for testing in a couple of weeks. It's not live yet now. And then it's going to come to the live game for PvP mode, payload mode, after the event finishes.
Yeah. So we have to wait because, you know, they don't put events through PTR.
No.
They feel like they should go completely live with that straight away, but they do like to test their actual PvP stuff. And obviously there are differences between the PvE and the PvP modes. If you've played it in PvE already, you won't know what these areas are yet until you compare it, but there are two very bespoke areas for the PvE that aren't in PvP.
Right.
PvP has its own special areas that are only for the PvP map.
That would make sense, yeah.
So obviously those bits have to be kind of play tested to make sure that they do work. And obviously once that is all set and done, it will come into the game. And yes, it's a payload map. You can kind of tell that from the way that the flow is of the PvE.
Yeah.
Lots of really nice areas. There's a nice bridge that goes, because obviously it's set in Venice, it obviously has a canal. There's a really good bridge that you can see is quite narrow, so when the payload's going over it, this is going to be a great opportunity for Lucios and Farahs to boot people off into the canal. Luckily, there are gondolas that run along the canal, so that if you're booped off at just the right time, you might land on a gondola and have a chance to save yourself.
Oh, cool.
So there's kind of lots of nice little things like that. There's what Aaron Keller, the assistant design director, nicely refers to as Devil's Corner, which is kind of a U-shaped set of 90-degree bends. And apparently that is a right nightmare to get the payload around.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how that choke point works, because we're so used to choke points being sort of like doors and stuff like that. The idea of like this double 90-degree bend to get around a U shape, that sounds like really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how people defend that.
Yeah. It might have been a little bit of a sort of, I don't know, I might have got it wrong because my perception might have been affected because I was just watching you guys stream, but did it feel to you as if the map was a little bit more bare in terms of furniture and dressing in general? So
if at the moment, like, all the dressing felt very much situated around like where enemies can come in, because obviously it's built around this idea of cinema, right? Like people are coming in from the rooftops, people are coming in through windows and stuff like that. Yeah, I must say I found Junkenstein, sorry, not Junkenstein, Junkertown felt very bare the first time I played it.
Did it? I thought you were going to say the opposite.
Yeah, and I got more used to it as it went on, and I think I started noticing more interesting things, like because it's so mechanical, Mad Max based.
Yeah.
There's lots of small bits in sort of like the hidden corners that I started noticing, like, oh, this is full of lots of nice details. Maybe sort of like successive playthroughs through this will point those out. And maybe also there are other things in the PvP version that we haven't seen yet that might have been just dropped in to encourage people. Like, you know, we have characters like Hanzo that can run at walls, and we have Widowmaker that can get into position, stuff like that. Maybe there are more of those spots that we haven't noticed yet because we're not playing it competitively. So I hope there are more secrets for it to reveal over time.
Sure. And that about covers it for our quick look, our thoughts on Retribution so far. Have you been playing it? Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're excited for Rialto to come to the game. And thanks very much for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe for plenty more PC gaming content in general on our channel, and check out our website for all of our coverage on Retribution so far. Until we see you next time, thanks for watching and take care.